As the trade deadline approaches, the Blue Jays are buyers, thank goodness, and they've already made a deal. We'll talk about that all in a second. Welcome to the Blue Jays Center podcast, brought to you by the Sick Podcast Network. I'm James Price, along with Cole Whiston. Buddy, we got a ton of things to get into. Positives, and there's some negatives. And I'm fighting the negative urges. They're all fighting in my brain, but we're going to break it all down right now.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Blue Jays Center.
Bautista drives it deep left field. Gone!
The sickest Toronto Blue Jays podcast. It's gonna be sick.
What's up, Cole? Look, buddy, I'm all over the place tonight. We're recording right now in the top of the ninth inning. Jays down 3-2 to the Orioles, and it's been a disaster of a day in general. However, Big Boss Ross, we talked about him needing to be busy, and he made something happen. After game one, he's like, you know what? We're going to grab a dude on the other side of the field, and Chad Green, your bags are already packed. Get on the plane, bud. You're out of here. Jays acquire Seranthony Domínguez from the Baltimore Orioles in exchange for Warren Watts-Brown. We've talked about him on the podcast before. Good young arm, but he's a prospect. We all know what that means. Expendable, and we've already seen him in this ballgame. Regardless of the result here, dude is nasty. Cole, how are we doing, pal?
I'm doing great. Despite potentially losing 3 in a row to the Orioles, despite potentially losing.
Hold on.
I know. Ernie Clement just got hit. Runner on, nobody out, top of the ninth inning, down by 1. Despite losing 4 in a row, possibly, we'll save that for to be determined. Yeah. I'm fine. And I think that any Jays fan that isn't currently fine needs to chill out. This team wasn't supposed to win 19 of 23 games, and yet they did. And you know what that did? It gave us a cushion to do something like this. Here's the other thing. We were expected to play 4 games in 48 hours against this Baltimore Orioles team in their ballpark, and it was going to be a Humidex of 45 degrees, all 4 games. Yeah. That is not something that is easily done at just in any reality. And starting game 1 was, relative to expectations, one of the worst road pitchers I've ever seen compared to what he actually is as a overall pitcher. And then we started Easton Lucas in game 1 of the doubleheader today. And then we finished with that entire game, basically with non-major leaguers. And then in the second game, we got Eric Lauer starting, which turned out to be a pretty good game, competitive game, which is what I was expecting. We got Jose Barrios tomorrow. Again, Baltimore Orioles match up really well against Jose Barrios, especially on the road. So here's the thing. I'm not concerned. And on top of that, we just got our first leverage arm of the deadline. And the reason why we know it's our first and not last is because every person came out after the fact and said, despite the Jays adding Seranthony Domínguez, who's a legit 8th inning, 7th inning, back into your bullpen kind of guy, the Jays aren't done. And not only they're not done, they're targeting Ryan Helsley as one of their main targets. That guy who would immediately become your closer. Yeah. And Domínguez has an argument to be your closer, even if you don't acquire a clear-cut closer at this deadline. I'm doing great.
Well, I'm glad you are. I mean, look, I live and die with every single damn day. I can't play that way. When they're winning, man, I'm flying high. Life's great. Now it's like, boy, are we ever going to get a big hit again? But I mean, look, when you don't have George Springer, you don't have Alejandro Kirk, obviously Dalton Varsho is around the corner. When you look at the lineup and you're like, Lucas, okay, at the top of the lineup, then Bo, Vlad, and Barger, fine, and then after that you're like,
I know that's what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Our best catcher, our best center fielder, our best power hitter, and we just lost our actual best player this year in George Springer because he got 96 to the skull yesterday. So. Yeah, in my opinion, this means nothing to me. Nothing. And I'll give you a little teaser that I was gonna finish off the show with, but I think you need the positive vibes now, so I'm just gonna give it to you now. Yeah. We have 17 series remaining.
Yeah.
5 are against playoff teams.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting the score. I'm watching the thing as well, and nothing crazy, but it's good. I'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, you're going to see my live reaction. Hold on.
That's fine.
Let's hold on.
I don't know what happened.
So Tyler Heineman is 3 for 3 today. He's got a 3-0 count. Walked. Nice.
Beauty. All right.
Walked. First and second, no outs. Yeah. First and second.
Come on, fellas. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know where you were at, but I gotta reel us back because you were trying to bring me positive, and that's great.
Yeah.
So let's stay on that point.
Yep.
With bringing in Seranthony Domínguez, because we talked. We were joking around in the chat with how crap this game has been so far, and the last 3 days have been a disaster. I'm like, this guy's gonna come in facing his former team in a tie ball game, a moonshot, or it's gonna be an awful start. No, he proceeds to just absolutely look filthy. I mean, after hitting a guy, but yeah, it's fine. The 2 strikeouts, disgusting. The splitter, gross. When you pump 98, you can miss a little bit, right?
Yep.
It plays. So nasty stuff.
Yep. Okay. I'm about to go into a deep dive for you on Seranthony Domínguez, and I think Jays fans need to listen up because we acquired Jeff Hoffman in the offseason, and if you remember me back in the offseason, I said, I don't know how I feel about that. I know Jordan Romano wasn't a sure bet or anything, but I didn't know how I felt about Jeff Hoffman. The guy had 12 saves in his career coming into the Jays, and he was the Phillies' 8th inning guy. I didn't know how I felt replacing your closer, and you needed a legit closer if you were going to contend this year. Listen to Seranthony Domínguez. Obviously, another guy, not a lot of closing experience, but has 40 saves coming into the Jays. 40 in his career. He also has 17 postseason innings, which he has been lights out in. But listen to this. So, this year, 41 innings pitched, 54 Ks, a 1.3 RIP, and a 1.22 ERA+. You want to know what Hoffman's is? 88. Yeah. 88! The guy's been below average. Here's the other thing. The Baseball Savant page, in basically every single notable category you can look at on Baseball Savant, Domínguez is significantly better than Hoffman. I'll give you a few. He's 20% better in pitching run value. He's 18% better in expected ERA. He's 11% better in expected batting average. He's 5% better in whiff percentage. And he's almost 60% better in hard hit percentage. The only thing that is notably better for Jeff Hoffman over Seranthony Domínguez is walks. Right. Domínguez has trouble walking guys. Jeff Hoffman is really good at not walking guys. That guy has a legit argument to be our closer for the rest of the way, like I previously mentioned, if we don't acquire a clear-cut closer at the deadline. And in all likelihood, my expectation is we obviously don't get Ryan Helsley because that's, I think, a dream scenario. And my expectation is we'll have 3 guys that we could slot in the 9th inning on any given day. Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Obviously, we've heard the talks about Ryan Helsley, and obviously David Bednar is a name that's come up as well. Mm-hmm. And those 2 guys, if Big Boss Ross wants to go all in and wants to dive for it, I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, Bednar's got an extra year as well on his contract, so that's something that would obviously help the team moving forward as well. Look, I think no one's complaining about the deal. Some people overvalue prospects, and a guy like myself, as I obviously do the part of that segment, so I get a little frisky for some of the guys, and Watts Brown I've talked about since last year. But you know what? When you're getting a guy like this, it doesn't matter, right? Because you don't know what Watts Brown. He may never make the big leagues,
right?
And if he does, he may be a Simeon Woods Richardson, which, let's be honest, I mean, he's fine.
You're fine,
but I'll beat you. We're getting Jose Barrios, but you also traded Austin Martin too, a couple top 5 prospects. You weren't trading that. You still have a bunch of better pitching prospects than him in your organization. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, Cole. For the love of God.
Just give me a second. Goodness gracious. And here's the thing. There's no way it's a double play. Please don't tell me it's a double play.
It's not.
Okay, good. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Nathan Lucas is up with a 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Davis Martin, I believe, is the closer for the... Oof! That was a filthy pitch, man. Filthy pitch. I mean, too close to take, but yeah, filthy. Strikeout looking, 2 outs, and I believe that means... Bo Bichette's coming up. So, our most clutch hitter in a clutch situation. Not a bad place to be.
No,
and a single doesn't win the game, but a single gives you the lead.
Tie it at least.
I have no idea who's pitching the 9th. That's an entirely different conversation. We got Seranthony Domínguez today. I know. We got Seranthony Domínguez today for anybody who's unaware of the doubleheader. We got him in the middle of the 2 games, and we had a tie game in the 5th inning with Eric Lauer at 77 pitches coming up against the heart of the order, which was all righties for the Orioles. So I was fine with taking him out. A lot of hard contact today. But then the Jays went this. They went Yaro Rodriguez in the 6th inning, Seranthony Domínguez in the 7th inning, and then Jeff Hoffman in the 8th inning, which legitimately means I have no idea who pitches the 9th. And if we were still tied, I wouldn't know who pitches the 10th inning and the extras. So 1-1 count to Bo Bichette, 2 outs. He again swung and missed on a fastball down the middle.
You know what? I'm going to turn it off. You be the reaction.
Okay, good. Thank you.
It hasn't worked to this point, so got to try something else. It's complete hot garbage.
96 high and inside, fouled it off. 1-2.
1-2. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, we're getting live reactions here, folks. And it is what it is.
We don't do this very often.
No, we don't. And maybe it's something to happen moving forward. I don't know. If it goes well, maybe if it goes bad, maybe just throw it in the garbage, start again. But I don't know, man. I can't. You're looking at the TV. I'm sweating.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Way outside, 2-2. Way
Okay.
outside.
All right. This is an interesting pod. Shane's back there probably thinking these idiots aren't even talking about anything.
No, he's good. He's good. This is good. This is exactly that's exactly what this part of the season is meant for. Martin's also at 20 pitches, so he's been in this weather. That's a lot. Almost a wild pitch. 3-2
you
count.
know what? Please, just rifle one to the backstop.
That would be great.
Please.
An unbelievable block by Rutschman here. Unbelievable block.
I mean, he is damn good. Of course, he came back for this series, right?
Yeah, I know.
Of course.
Came back for this series and probably had his best series of the year.
He went deep off of Bassett there on Friday, didn't he? Or what day is that? Monday. Hello.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Yeah. It felt like forever since he's been on the mound. He had the double. Oh, my God.
Bichette swung at one above his head. Above his head. Fastball, above his head. Swung at it. Yeah. Turning it off. That was bad. That was horrific. Okay, maybe we'll never do this again. So.
Positive thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Where were we? Domínguez, a fantastic ad. The prospect we gave up was the number 10 in our system. Systems, whatever. Baseball America actually had him ranked 14th in our system, so just to make you feel a little bit better with the trade.
Bottom line, he was 23 years old, AA, really started to figure it out, about a 3.5 ERA, pretty good strikeout stuff, nasty slider. Again, will he be a starter moving forward or a reliever? He's 6'3", he's a big boy, so I don't know.
Yeah. Here's the other thing about Domínguez. I think I remember my train of thought. So he is a rental this year. He's 30 years old, free agent at the end of the year. But the contract he's coming off of was, I think, 3 years over $15 million, which is obviously very cheap for a leverage arm like himself. So also a guy that might not end up being a rental for us. Like a very real chance we just re-sign him in the offseason, for 6, 7, maybe $8 million a year. And then we have Hoffman and him and Jarl next year. And then our bullpen is more solidified if we acquire another rental that we can let walk or whatever. So the thing with acquiring back end of your bullpen relievers at the deadline that are rentals, they're also guys that are realistically able to be re-signed in the offseason. So not necessarily a rental for us, not necessarily.
No, and let's say they go out there and acquire a David Bednar, right? And you go along with what you're saying there, that your bullpen is set for next year.
Done. Oh, yeah, done. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of texts saying, why is he swinging at that? I'm glad I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I would have probably thrown the remote at the TV.
Speaking about David Bednar, guys, if you've been following this podcast 3 weeks ago in our early trade deadline special, I mentioned David Bednar because the Jays at that time were linked to him closely. This might be the year. It might be the year we finally get David Bednar after talking about it for what feels like 4 years.
Yeah, I think I mentioned in the offseason, or if it was the early parts of the year, bringing in Ryan Helsley on an expiring deal, not making a whole lot of money. And with us, I guess going into the offseason, we knew we needed a couple back end of the bullpen arms. We knew obviously at that point Jordan Romano was already gone. We already had Hoffman. We're like, okay, great, but who's your closer, or is that your guy? And I believe we talked about Ryan Helsley as well. And those are the two guys that are out there linked to the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
We have zero insight, but boy, we're smart. I'll just
Yeah.
go with that.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
look, that's what they need. And look, I'm going to tell people this, okay? And you and I talked a little bit briefly before we started that people are going to freak out about the offense.
Yeah.
Because of this last little stretch where they haven't scored a lot and they were getting their teeth kicked in the last 3 games before this one. But of course, they're going to lose it in the way they do. So just twist the knife a little bit more, but it's fine. It's fine. And they're going to be like, well, maybe you need another bat. And would it be nice for them to go out there and say, screw it. Eugenio Suarez, hopefully he's got 2 hands working, bring in the homers. Fine. You also remember this team does not have Dalton Varsho. They just watched George Springer getting a fastball off the dome. And then Alejandro Kirk, your all-star shortstop. Hell no, he ain't moving that way. All-star catcher. And those are huge pieces. George Springer has been your most important player.
Yep.
You're one of your best offensive player. Hell, he's at the highest OPS in the team.
Yep.
So, yes, am I freaking out right now because I'm watching the Yankees and the Red Sox winning today, and now the games are going to drop. Now, the good news is this team does have the season series over both teams.
Yep.
So that's a huge positive as well. So you can say, well, they're only 4 back. They're really 5 up on the Red Sox and Yankees or whatever it ends up being. So it's not too bad. However, where the hell was I? Trade targets. Yes. I don't know. Honestly, the dream one for me is Stephen Kwan, man.
Really? That's your dream?
Man. Absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing. So today, a lot of reports came out saying that the Jays are amongst the favorites, wherever we heard this before, for Stephen Kwan, who, yes, is one of the best pure hitters in the entire league, and it is definitely the most Jays trade. You get a guy under team control who's a contact-first guy, good defender. I get it. I get that. Like that. Of course, the Jays are interested in him. But you don't need that.
No, you don't need it.
You don't need that. And
no.
Not only do you not need it, I actually don't think you should go get it. Because for 2 reasons. One, Stephen Kwan is going to be a high price tag. It's simple as that. He's got team control. He's linked with the Dodgers, I believe, is the other team. And if the Dodgers want him, then obviously he's going to be a high price tag.
Yeah.
Their farm system's got a lot more to offer than what we do. So I'm not prepared to get into a bidding war over a strength.
No. Okay, I'm not going to
Over
get
a
stupid
strength.
with it. Yeah, I'm not going to get stupid with it. But I will say, when I look at this lineup, and I just said I wasn't worried about the whole damn thing, but I see Kirky, I see Springer. I look at the lineup whenever it comes out, during the day. I look past the number 1 hole. I'm like, okay, well, there's Vlad, there's Bo, there's George, Kirky, Barger, all these guys. Great. And then I see flip-flopping Lucas and Clement in the leadoff hole. And I get the numbers and the splits and all these sexy khaki numbers. Great stuff. You could put a guy like Stephen Kwan at the top of the lineup every single day, and it's like, oh my God. Like it's a disaster. Him and Bo at the top of the lineup, taking away today, I guess. They're just gonna rip pitchers apart.
Yep.
And by the time they get to Springer, by the time they get to Vlad, they're gonna be out of gas, and there could be a couple dudes on base.
Yeah.
So that's where I look at it, and it fits the lineup perfectly. Now I agree with you. I don't think they're going to get him. I think that, like you said, the Dodgers, they'll be like, oh, you want another prospect? Here you go.
I'm not prepared. So here's the thing. Like, we don't know if this is going to succeed in the postseason. It rarely ever does succeed in the postseason. I'm not saying it can't. We've beaten all of the number 1 and number 2 and number 3 starters that you can beat basically in the regular season. So it's up to this point, it's looking like a reasonably positive expectation come postseason time. But I'm not willing to strengthen that. I want to strengthen the other thing that we know you need in the postseason, which is home runs. And if you aren't sure what you're going to get from Anthony Santander, which I can be as bullish as I am and as optimistic as I am, which I still am. I'm not concerned about Anthony Santander's production the rest of the way when he eventually comes back healthy. But if you aren't sure, which most people aren't, then you need to acquire a bat that can at least fill that hole that you were anticipating having filled this entire season. Mm-hmm. And guys like Taylor Ward and Ramon Laureano, who literally is
Those are options too, yeah.
who's like 7 for 11 or 7 for 12 in this series against the Blue Jays. Both guys put the ball over the fence, hit it from the right side of the plate, will mash lefties. I think that those two targets that are going to be significantly cheaper price tags are way better options for us because, as we know, you still need another leverage bullpen arm, and you still need a top end of the rotation guy. And as we are seeing in the last week or so, or the last 2 weeks since we've done our podcast, the top of the end rotation guys are falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
And that means that everybody who is available, their price tag just went up. I would rather spend those assets there. If you can get Kwan without trading Namala or Savage, then I'll hear you out. I will happily hear you out. But I think it's going to cost you one of those guys to get Kwan, which is why I don't want to get Kwan. I would rather spend I'd rather spend Savage or Namala for a top end of the rotation arm. That's it.
That's fine. So what you're talking about, like a Dylan Cease type thing. So you're talking
right,
about.
right.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing with Suarez, and I'll shout out Rob by saying this. Rob's right. Suarez actually doesn't fit this lineup as good as a corner outfielder does, because moving Barger to third base is the best option for the Blue Jays, because him in the outfield, he has a -5 DRS this year and a -4 outs above average. At third base, he's +2 in, I think, both of those categories, but definitely in DRS. So he's a way better, or it looks to be he's a much better third baseman than he is a right fielder. I know we all love the outfield assists he's had, but just statistically, he seems like a better third baseman. So that's kind of a double-edged, like a catch-20. No, not even catch-22. You get two benefits. Two benefits for the price of one if you acquire a corner outfielder. You get a better third baseman, and you get a better corner outfielder.
I would definitely be down. You mentioned two names there, Taylor Ward and Ramon Laureano. Like if that Quan price is what we've talked about, like if it's Namala and Savage, you're like, okay, we'll hang up the phone. Like let's
even if it's Namala or Savage.
You just don't be stupid about it. Like we talk about, don't be a prospect hoarder. Yes, but also don't be stupid with your prospects.
Yeah.
So I get that. But a Taylor Ward or Ramon Laureano, absolutely. Sign me up any day of the week for a corner outfield of that, because you need it. I'm sorry. I'm like, I know it's recency bias because of the way the team's been playing, but when it comes to a playoff game and you're seeing, throw out some names here, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, if it gets to it, Hunter Brown of the Astros, hell, Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. I don't care what we've done to them recently.
Yep.
Do I trust a Joey Lopefito come playoff time to start in the lineup? No. Do I trust David Schneider? No. Do I trust any of these guys? No. So you get healthy, you bring Varsho back, that lengthens out your lineup. Springer, Kirky, lengthens out your lineup. Like you said, you acquire a Taylor Ward or a Ramon Laureano that adds to that lineup, and all of a sudden your 1 through 9 is damn deep. Yeah. At that point, you add the acquisitions to your bullpen because we're hoping there's one more.
Yep.
And that with adding another great bullpen arm, that does so many things. Everyone's talking about a big starter, and we talked about Cease briefly there. But you bring in, let's say a Bednar, let's say a Helsley, okay, one of the two. That lengthens out your bullpen so much, and Kevin Barker says it perfectly on the Blair and Barker show all the time. Make it a 4-inning game. Yeah. Like, make your starter win you a 4-inning game. You don't have to push Barrios to 6. You don't have to push Bassett or, Max Scherzer, Kevin Gausman, because your bullpen is locked down tight. That's what the 2015 Kansas City Royals did to the Blue Jays and every other team they played. That's why they won a World Series title. I'm not saying this team is exactly that, because there's obviously a lot of differences, but when you have a dominant bullpen, your starters can take a breath. Yeah. They don't have to feel like they have to be perfect all the time. And they don't have to give you 110 pitches on 7 shutout innings or whatever the case may be. So, there's a lot of different things. I'd love a corner outfielder, like we said. We'd love to get one of those closers. And you look at that right there, that's a damn good team right there.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And here's the thing: the Royals is a good comp, because that's basically the last time that we've seen an iteration of this team win the World Series. And if you go back a little bit further, the Giants as well, two teams that didn't hit for a lot of power that won the World Series. And that's what this Jays team would have to overcome if they're going to win the World Series this year. But let me tell you this. 2 stats I found today that were absolutely shocking to me. two of the most respected advanced offensive statistics for a team that all the khakis will talk about is expected WOBA and WRC plus. Where do you think the Jays rank in expected WOBA?
The hell is we expected WOBA?
Expected weighted on base average, I think, is what it is, and it basically in cap. I know.
I ain't no khaki, brother. No
short term,
strap.
short way to put it. It's really good. If you are top 5 in that category, your offense is clicking.
Well, considering we've heard a lot recently how this Jays offense is one of the best in baseball. I'm guessing they're top 10.
They're top 5.
There you go.
They're top 5. What do you think they are in WRC plus, which we know is basically Fangraphs' version of OPS plus, but a lot of people tend to respect the WRC plus more.
Well, I'm guessing it's top 5 as well.
1.
Oh, the best team in baseball.
We lead the league in WRC plus, despite being like 14th in home runs. I was baffled when I saw that, and
crazy.
that was actually the most promising statistic that I found on the Jays heading into the postseason. Because for anybody that's unaware, the last 2 years, I've looked into what's a common trend between both World Series teams, and basically every single year, the two teams are either top 5 in hard hit percentage or top 5 in least amount of strikeouts. As we know, the Jays lead the league in least amount of strikeouts. They lead the league in batting average. They lead the league in OBP. But leading the league in WRC plus, which I can't confirm or not, is it has worked out in my theories of previous World Series teams. But I'd be pretty confident in saying I can go on a limb and say it is, because that's unbelievable. So I assume all the teams that lead in hard hit percentage tend to be top 5 in WRC plus, and the fact that we aren't that in hard hit percentage or home runs, but somehow we are in WRC plus, is a very promising statistic, which is why just acquiring a corner power first outfielder is my dream bat target.
So let me give Jays fans a little bit of an idea of the two players that we've been talking about, Taylor Ward and Ramon Laureano. So for for Taylor Ward himself, first off, he's got 25 homers. Put that into perspective, no Jays player has 20. So there's that.
Yes.
He's driven in 78 runs. He's got an 800 OPS, an OPS plus of a 118. I mean, solid and right-handed power bat. Thank you very much. Sign me up. Ramon Laureano, I got to say, it's incredible what he's doing. I don't know how he's doing it. I got a couple more hits today. I don't know if it's been updated since then, but regardless, he's got only 15 homers. But again, that lengthens out your lineup. I think Vladdy has 15. So
yeah, but 170. Yeah, exactly. 117 OPS plus, right?
No, for Ramon Laureano, it's 142, 866 OPS.
Oh,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah, he's in 279, 341 on base.
Guys, that's a better OPS plus than Vladdy or George Springer.
Yeah, and also if I'm not
I don't know.
mistaken,
Actually, I can't confirm George Springer, but I can confirm Vladdy.
Let me confirm that.
Yeah, it's a better OPS plus than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which says basically everything you need. But if it's better than George Springer,
right?
Yeah.
Vladdy, 139.
What? No, what's Springer's? 139.
Oh, well, that was Vlad.
Yeah, no, I know he's better than Vlad. What's Springer's?
Okay, I part of me, I doubt he's better than Springer, but we'll see. Springer OPS plus 144. So basically the same sort of player. Yeah.
Okay, and here's what I sent into the chat the other day. And I did think it helped. Put a clear picture on what our lineup should look like come October 1st, assuming everybody's healthy, if we acquire one of these guys that we're talking about. Bo Bichette leading off. Barger batting second. Vladdy batting third. Whoever you get, whether it's Ward, Laureano, or Suarez, batting fourth or fifth, then it would be Springer, Varsho, Kirk, Santander, which again, maybe you have him hitting above Kirk, maybe you have him hitting above Varsho, but you have Anthony Santander who hit 44 home runs last year, possibly batting 6th, 7th, or 8th in your lineup, and then you round it out with Andres Jimenez batting 9, who, as we've seen, has led off a couple times this year, is a guy that will have a competitive at bat. He might not get any result, but having him be your 9-hole hitter, which then still platoons the lefty to the righty to the lefty to the righty as it flips the lineup over. That lineup is a perfect, in my opinion, postseason lineup. And your bench would then read this: Ernie Clement, which can basically slot into any of your positions when needed. Miles Straw, which will be your late inning, stolen base kind of guy. Tyler Heineman, who's been the best backup catcher in the league. And then Davis Schneider, who mashes lefties.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of options there. Obviously, the asterisk is Anthony Santander, and if he'll ever play again, for God's sakes. But regardless of that, I mean, I love the sounds of that, right? And you can take out Santander, put Ernie in there, and kind of positionally move things around and figure it out. George can DH or whatever the case may be. Yep. There's options there, and it looks really, really good. The fellas just need to get back healthy and start hitting again, because it kind of sucks.
Which is a good segue.
It definitely is. To which one are we talking about? I guess the state of the team right now.
Injury updates. Yep.
Oh, well, that works too. I mean, they're both not great. Let's be honest.
They're
all
not
right.
bad.
Well, they're not okay. They're not great. Let's put it that way. First things first, let's get these couple negatives out of the way. Bowden Francis, 60-day IL, cooked, done. Probably never see him again this year. He got moved to the 60-day IL recently.
But good.
Yeah. Oh, hey, sign me up. Jimmy Garcia, 5 days ago, got a cortisone shot. They shut him down. I think it was like another week, and then he'll ramp things back up.
Oh my God, I didn't even remember about Jimmy Garcia. We have that guy coming back.
Well, we'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath, kind of like the Santander thing. But he's got a cortisone shot. He'll be hopefully coming back soon. Yes. Also, I know Alek Manoah is just kind of lurking in the weeds, doing his thing, getting healthier. Something, maybe. I don't know. Nick Sandlin, kind of the same thing as Jimmy Garcia, kind of up in the air. We're not really sure what we're going to get from him. Alejandro Kirk, I think John Schneider said that he was feeling better. That was today. He said that. So that's, I guess, a good sign. But he's 7 days on the IL, so he's going to be a little bit longer on there. So just for God's sakes, hurry up.
Eligible to be reinstated Sunday or Monday.
Okay. So
and I assume he'll be back one of those days.
I hope so. I hope it's a minimum 7 days right back in there. I really do hope so, because as much as Heineman's been great, the threat of Kirk is really nice to have.
Yep.
Even though he can't run for crap, I'm totally fine with it. Andres Jimenez, as you mentioned, I think he was on a rehab, isn't he? He was cleared for running 5 days ago. At least on the score app, that's all we got. Not a whole lot there. I mean, look, when you have an ankle injury and you're cleared to run, I guess that's a positive thing. He'll get into rehab at some point. What else we got? Santander, I think that was the same as Jimmy Garcia. He got a shot weeks away from swinging. That was on July 21st. So
no,
maybe a September type thing for Anthony Santander. Maybe.
Probably.
Because he has not played a game since May 29th. It has been a long time since Santander has put a uniform on. He's only played 50 games at 577 OPS when he did play, so not great there. And obviously Dalton Varsho is the closest one to returning. The assumption is that he's going to be back on the weekend for the home series against the Royals, which thank God.
Huge.
Thank God. Seeing him crush balls in the minors, like, oh, great, Varsho's gone his way back. We need those here, please. And when he was here, man, we all know it, right? He was just an extra base machine, 24 games. He had 8 bombs, 5 doubles, a million strikeouts, but no one gave a crap because he drove in 20 runs in 24 games. He was doing incredible stuff. So need him back dearly, especially, Miles Straw has been great, but let's go here.
One's the best center fielder in baseball. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know. Okay, I got to ask you this because I'm getting pissed off. Are you hearing, like, I was listening to fan pregame before, and I've heard it on a couple of different podcasts now. Get questions being fired up. What have they done about moving Dalton Varsho? I'm like, are you snorting crack? Like, what are we talking about here? Dude's under control. He's a Gold Glove center fielder. He's the best center fielder in baseball. He crushes bombs. This team needs bombs. I don't really understand what's happening here.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're hearing this too, but I heard on the fan pregame, and I'm like, I got to turn this thing off. And I saw it on Twitter. People are like, are we stupid?
Yeah. No, that's an unserious conversation. I think people are getting mixed up because I think Jim Bowden came out and reported that the Jays are willing to move major league guys. They don't mean Dalton Varsho, who should have won the Platinum Glove last year. Absolutely not. So that's no. Dalton Varsho is not going to get moved, and it'll be people don't even understand how great it'll be to have him back for hopefully the last 2 months of the season.
The good thing about you think about it, right? If you can find a way to get through tomorrow, healthy, and God forbid you get a win, which would, I mean, with Barrios on the mound against that lineup, he not feeling great about it. But let's say the worst case scenario, you get swept, you have the off day, reset. Varshaw's back for the weekend. Fingers crossed, everything's good. George Springer maybe back for the weekend.
That's the other thing. We avoided, hopefully.
We actually really did.
Yeah, we have avoided, hopefully, the 7-day concussion protocol for George Springer because now we're a day removed from the incident and no news has come out regarding whether or not he's at the IL. So he should be back this weekend.
Yeah, let me go to, I think it was either Keegan or BNS tweeted it out before.
If I'm the Jays, I sit him tomorrow. I don't really care, what your tests came back and say. Like I don't care about winning this series. I don't even care about getting swept by the Orioles. So I would sit him. I'd rather give him the extra 2 days and then come back for the weekend.
So this was Keegan before Game 2. John Schneider says George Springer is feeling better, but still going through testing, so there's not much more information. But, it seems like he's feeling better. He didn't have the lineup out for a bit, didn't say yes or no to him even being in the lineup.
And he was in the dugout.
And, so he's doing okay, and this was Kirky as well, is also feeling better each day, still very day-to-day, but encouraging for now. And, that's only, 2 or 3 days after it, so you basically double that. Hopefully he's good to go, like you said, by the minimum 7 days. So that's a positive sign, I guess, moving forward.
100%.
And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, can we bid farewell with Seranthony Domínguez joining the bullpen? We had to say goodbye to batting practice pitcher. It felt like, at least, Chad Green. Sayonara, big fella. Look, we enjoyed the minimal time we saw. What was that, in 23? Or I was leading last year, where he was actually closing games and he wasn't actually terrible. Yeah. And we're like, wow, this is actually really cool. It's done. Long gone. 14 bombs, leads the majors in bullpen homers allowed. Was it a 10-3 game or 10-4 game, whatever it was, in the opener? They're like, all right, here you go, Chad. Let's see if you can put up his. Nope, 2 more bombs. There it goes. Just hurting his neck on the way out. I mean, geez, that was. Thank God.
I'm not going to add to that because, I think you hit it on the head. Plus, there's no reason to kick the horse while he's down. So
he's been through enough.
Yeah. You're good. Moving on.
I think I need to say something like that. But you know what? And speaking of moving on, because we freaking well have to. And you want actually, you know what? Screw it. You want to talk about the state of the team before we talk about what's ahead of us?
Yeah. I only have a couple updates on the state of the team. We are, and I'm going to do the negative first since that's where we are, and then I will finish with the positive. We are one of the worst first inning teams in baseball, and maybe up there, in the all-time ranks. We are also very bad at scoring first, let alone it being in the first inning. We're just bad at scoring first. These are all stats credit to Rob, who couldn't join us today. Yeah. So, when we score first, this team is 34-11. When we don't score first, this team is 29-34. And if you do the math, we've only scored first 46 out of 109 games.
It's not good.
It's not good at all. So, now I don't know how you fix that because I certainly enjoy having Bo Bichette and George Springer and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. basically hit the first inning every single game. And I don't know if you can provide a better first inning lineup than that. And Kirk going in behind them and, whoever we acquire. I don't know. There's no fix, but you need to figure it out. David Popkins, you've done God's work figuring out Miles Straw and Nathan Lucas and Alejandro Kirk and George Springer and Ernie Clement and Addison Barger. God's work.
Yep.
Next step, rest of the way, 2 months. Put some focus on. Hey, let's score first. How about that?
That would be absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna add on another negative point because just twist the knife more. Why don't we?
And then I'll go with my positive.
Yeah, that's what I was going for there. Just fire the negative stuff and then end with the positive. We knew these first 2 games, actually 3 games, were awful. Yesterday wasn't really talked about enough that Nathan Lucas getting robbed.
From Cedric Mullins. Yep.
Exactly. In a big moment, right? You would decide the game. Who knows what happened after that? You never know. Can't play, hindsight's 2020, all that stuff. And you look at the first game today, right? You had opportunities.
Yep.
And I talked about it in my video earlier today. You were down 4-3. Barger at the 2-run shot. It's a 1-run ball game. You're thinking, hey, we're right there. And God, Easton Lucas is out of the ball game. Like, hey, we have a chance here.
Right.
And in the 5th and the 6th inning, you had 2 on. And you don't get a run. And then immediately they blow it open.
Yep.
Gut punch.
Yep.
Tonight even.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of opportunities they had to score in this ball game, and you were watching it as well. Like the double play here, double play there, liner right out of the guy, but right at the first baseman touches the bag. There's a double play, and it's like that nonsense. And then you got the lucky one with Tyler O'Neill, right, going foul by about maybe a hair, sure. And then Wagner, I think it was with the bases loaded or with 2-1 that he went foul by about yay much, and then proceeded to ground into a double play to end the inning.
Yeah.
The Jays went 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position today.
Holy shit.
So, and then who was that?
That doesn't even seem real. There's no way that's real.
Brendan said it in the chat, so believe that what you may. But
today he went 0 for 15 today, or they are 0 for 15 in the series.
Nope.
No,
today.
there's no way they're 0 for 15 in the series. 0 for 15 today doesn't even seem real. I don't know how that's possible. I assume, even if it's true or not true, that the stats for runners in scoring position weren't good today, period. But 15 chances with runners in scoring position seems unreal. So that's crazy. And Bo Bichette, the hottest hitter on our team and the most clutch hitter on our team, went 0 for 4 today, I believe, and had runners on base multiple times. So yeah, that's tough to see. We went 3 straight innings, 6th, 7th, and 8th with a double play.
Also Lucas went in the leadoff spot today, went 0 for 9. So there's that little thing as well.
What? Lucas didn't go. You mean 0 for 4?
No, I mean like in the 2 games combined today.
Oh, sorry. Today, yeah, you're right. 0 for 9. Yep. Yeah. Wow. Oh, today, 2 games.
2 games later. Yeah, we didn't have 15 chances in the second game.
That's what I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, no. Both games combined.
Today,
0 for 9 for Lucas, 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position for the team.
Yes,
bad.
That's bad, but realistic. Okay, good. Okay, that clears that up. I just forgot there was 2 games today. To finish off, to go back into the positives, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is back.
Yeah. And
if he isn't back, he's so freaking close to being back in the second half, carrying an 1100 OPS.
Yeah.
With multiple home runs. 2, 3? 3, I think. 3.
At least a couple. I mean, he
3.
hit 2 recently, didn't he? Yeah, he hit 1 against Baltimore in game 1, and then he hit 1 in Detroit. And then he went to San Francisco as well.
Right,
so
3
since the break.
Boom. So, yeah, he might be back. And this is what he did last year. This is exactly when he turned it on last year, when he had an 1100 OPS in the second half as well. So,
okay, I was gonna try and find a positive. I can't do it. So I'm gonna end off with this. The Blue Jays let Brandon Young, a guy who has thrown 7 games in the entire big leagues. He is 26 years of age. He's thrown 7 games, 7 starts, an ERA of 7.34. He's 0-5 with a whip of 1.76, 28 strikeouts to 14 walks. He's let 8 homers in 30 innings. And the Blue Jays are like, here's 6 innings of 2-run ball. And
Charlie Morton also got a quality start.
Oh, yeah. 80-year-old Charlie Morton. Old Fox. Yeah, might as well be freaking Rich Hill out there doing that. My God. Okay, cool. I tried to stay positive. Couldn't really do it too much. But you want to wrap it up, buddy, and we'll get into tomorrow's 12:35 first pitch and probably 8,000-degree weather in Baltimore again.
I'm going to...
Berrios and Dean Kramer.
Yeah, Berrios and Dean Kramer, yeah. Feels like a win. Might not be a win. But as I said, folks, I'm going to finish off on 2 positive things.
Good. Please.
This series, in all likelihood, will mean nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Even if we get swept, it in all likelihood will mean nothing. We are in a very good position to still finish first in the American League, which is all you actually care about going into the postseason. We have a large cushion on the AL East. That shouldn't even be a worry at this point. We have a 5-game lead or a 4.5-game lead at this point. The Yankees are cooked. The Red Sox aren't going to be able to catch us. I don't imagine that this team is just going to fall off a cliff than what we have been the last 3 months. So, like I said, first in WRC Plus. That doesn't happen by accident. I don't expect this to continue. Lots of injuries, especially to our actual impact players during this series. And 4 games in 48 hours in 40-plus degree weather is just something that is not a realistic expectation for any athlete. I understand that the Orioles are also playing the baseball game as well, but they had their best catcher come back. They had one of their best relievers come back in this game, and they all match up really well against this staff. And if you count today's games over the last 3 years, so 2025, 2024, and 2023, the Orioles are plus 10 like record-wise against us. They have 10 more wins than we do in the head-to-head record. So they're just matched up well against us, especially in their home ballpark. They're all prime Barry Bonds when they face us. But guess what? Over the next 2 days, they're selling their entire team that is free agents at the end of the year. You know why? Because they're irrelevant. They're 5th in the AL East. They're not going to matter at the end of the year. So don't be concerned. And I said this stat at the beginning of the podcast, but if you skip to the end, I'm going to say it again. There's 17 series remaining. 17 until October. Only 5 of those 17 are against current playoff teams.
There you go.
5.
Yeah.
There is no reason to worry. Our second half is a significantly easier schedule than our first half was, and we got out of the first half with the best record in the freaking league.
Is one? Let me ask you this: is one of those series against the Texas Rangers the ones you're talking about?
Correct.
So the 3 of those series will be done by mid-August.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get the Brewers to end August. There's a 4th one.
Oh, one of the 5, you mean?
You said 5 series, right?
Sorry. Yeah. I think Texas is currently just outside of the wild card.
Okay. So then regardless, 3 of them will be done by the end of August.
I'll tell you who it is. It's the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros, the Red Sox, and the Cubs.
There you go.
Yeah. There's 2 teams that are on the brink of being in the postseason. But yeah, as of right now, only 5 series of the 17 will be against playoff teams. It's against those 5.
There. So I'm gonna end it off with a positive. All right, I figured one out, and you kind of helped me out with.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Astros just got swept by the Athletics. The Dodgers lost 12 of 16 or something stupid. Boston traded their best one of their best players in the middle of the season, and Chicago, whatever. They're an NL team. We'll worry about them hopefully in the World Series.
Yeah, honestly, like it happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone goes through good and bad stretches. The good teams are the ones that outweigh the bad stretches and aren't just a good stretch and then pathetic everywhere else. If the Jays go on and are a 500 team the rest of the way, they might even still freaking make the playoffs at this rate, at 18 games over 500. They probably will, honestly, at that rate. Right. So I will say this, and I mentioned it earlier on. The Yankees and the Red Sox are both going to win today, I'm assuming. Okay, Rays made it interesting, but it's 7-5 in the 9th, whatever. They win their games. The Jays are 4 up on the Yankees. And people are going to be starting freaking out like, holy crap, we're only 4 up. Hey, remember when we won 2 or 3 against the Yankees at Rogers Center?
Yep.
How many games up were we when we left Rogers Center? Yeah, we were up 4 games.
Yep.
So we're okay.
Yep.
The Red Sox are 5 games behind us. And also, like I said earlier, you have the season series against both teams. So let's say they make up all 4 games and they're tied with us. We are ahead of them.
Right.
So they're really 5 games behind us. Red Sox are 6 behind us. We're okay. Just got to get healthy. Just scrape away until you get some reinforcements back. Looks like you're going to get something back this weekend. Hopefully by next week, Kirky's back, and you could have Varsho, Springer, and Kirky back like that next week. And the positive vibes, because by then you may have some other additions as well. Maybe a Taylor Ward, maybe a Ramon Laureano, maybe a big-time closer.
Exactly.
Who knows? On top of those guys, vibes will be back.
Yeah, and next week you play the Royals and the Colorado Rockies in Colorado.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Before you play the Dodgers, so make sure you freaking win those ones. But anyways,
yeah.
Cool. It was a blast, buddy. We're able to get through this together. We got through the loss today. We got through the miserable talk. We ended off with positive. Let's go to sleep like that. I appreciate you coming on as always, bud. And for Shane behind the scenes, appreciate you, Shane. And for Blue Jay fans, to hang in there because it's 162 games. It's a long year. Cole mentioned earlier, the Dodgers hit a stretch where they were just playing pathetic ball. The Yankees, we've all seen them recently. They haven't been playing great. The Astros got swept in 4 games to the Athletics in Houston. It happens. We'll get through it together. We'll move on. Tomorrow, the finale of this miserable 4-game series. Try and find a way to get in a win going into the off day. That would be perfect. All right. So for myself, Cole, Shane, thanks so much for listening and or watching, whatever you're doing. And go Jays.
Go Jays.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Blue Jays Center on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.